Sometimes same speaker speaking 2 times, 3 times, maybe a bit boring, but still I will try to pass on my message and impress on you. I'm very, very confident that this sector is the best business, power business is the best business in our country for next 20 to 30 years, provided the promoters, if they don't have too much greed, and if they are happy with the 15%, maybe 12 to 15% ROA, absolutely this is the best business either in generation or transmission or distribution. Because if you compare with the Western countries, the IRR is very less. They are very happy with the 6 to 10%, 8 to 10%. But here, this merchant power really created a lot of greed in the people, thinking that they can sell the power at 10 rupees per unit, 8 rupees per unit, making 30% ROE and all. So now that situation has changed. The reason why I am very optimistic is I had the opportunity of heading and operating the complete southern region. Those days, that is prior to 2003, you would really surprise, every year at least 30 to 40 blackouts used to be there. And the frequency used to be less than 48.5 cycles. And 400 kV was operated at 220 kV, 220 kV operated at 132 kV. The moment that the 2003 Act came, grid code came, this discipline has been introduced. Now you can see the frequency is absolutely within the norms and the voltage is also within the norms. So in the same manner, whatever the problems we are facing, both input security and the output security for the generation, these are the only two issues, if you ask me. All other issues are controllable and can manage. It's not a big problem to manage. Because even the finance, if you have these two securities, there are so many people ready to come and invest in the power business. What happens is, we are not able to show the security on the input as well as the output. So once the security is there, investment is not an issue. Now the equipment is available, manpower, of course, you can start the training for the manpower, and then the financing also will not be an issue. So you have two opportunities. One is in the old power stations and another one is the new power station. When you come to the new power stations, I was giving a comparison with China, where they have that 750,000 megawatt installed capacity, whereas we have only 180,000 megawatts, including the captive power plant and all. But in this 180,000 megawatt, a lot of old stations are also there. If you see the average plant load factor, it is 70% is the plant load factor. So average plant load factor, okay, NTPC, some of the private organizations, they are operating the plant more than 90%, there is no doubt about it. If you want to bring the old power plants also to that extent to the 90% PLF, so at least we'll be able to gain 30,000 megawatt. How you will be able to gain that 30,000 megawatt is only investing in those power plants. They are blessed with a lot of land, water is available, infrastructure is available, old machines and automation is not available, plus so many other issues are there. So when once somebody can invest the money in the old power plants, either you call it as a renovation, modernization, replacement, or upgrading the power station. Because earlier I remember when I was in NTPC for 2000 megawatt station, we used to take a lot of land. But today, so the 1 acre per megawatt has come to half acre per megawatt, and the now has come to 1/4 acre per megawatt. So mind it, this is about thermal power plants I am talking, not about the combined cycle power plant. So that is how a lot of discipline has been introduced. With that, definitely, with the existing power plants itself, you can invest the money, and definitely one has to go and make a proposal to the state LCD boards and should be able to technically and commercially be able to sell this idea, then definitely a lot of opportunities are there. In the same manner, in the transmission, distribution also. In the distribution in India, if you see the substations and all, lot of capacitor stations are there, almost 80% of the capacitor, they don't work. So when once you put the capacitor stations, lot of voltage improvement will be there, losses will come down. Like that, so there is a multi-fold effect is there. So that is one big area, one big opportunity, the old power stations. As far as the new power stations are there concerned, I'm sure that at least we need to have at least 350,000 megawatt to 400,000 megawatt. What's happening is, as far as the output is concerned, that is the sale of power, is still, a lot of problems are there. In the whole chain of the power business, if you see, generation is privatized, transmission also moderately privatized, and the distribution is not privatized. Now, finally, it is not for a criticism. See, if the customer remains same government is the customer. Yes, before 2003 also government was the customer, today also government is the customer. So why some panelists were talking about the efficient operation by giving the power stations or power business to the private organization. So when once the distribution is completely privatized, these generators who are not in a position to get really much IRR, when once your distribution is also with them, then I am sure that they will be able to improve the total chain, the generation as well as the distribution. Unless this distribution is privatized, it is really difficult to make it viable. Unless somebody has got the captive coal mine or long-term coal is available, then it is okay. Otherwise, it will be difficult. So the government should immediately concentrate on privatization of the distribution. Thank you very much.